Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 170 of So What's Been Happening. Tonight, it is the 18th of February, Tuesday night. Another little quiet Tuesday night as we get to transport ourselves into someone else's little lounge room for a chat again tonight, which is really nice. Dakota East is this young lady's name, and we look forward to a chat very shortly. So I hope you all took up my little Valentine's Day challenge only a few days ago. And that was, if you didn't know, to not buy flowers or chocolates this year and actually get your partner, your special someone, or just a friend or family member along to a gig over the weekend. And there was plenty of them. So St Kilda Festival was one which was big. Also, the Across the Punt Festival was on with the Gem and Luli Tavern in Melbourne. So make sure you catch up on all those news. There was plenty of gigs on. So I urge you this weekend to, if you didn't do it last, to get out and support some local music again. Everyone needs you right now. So tonight we are going to talk Americana, country music. It's got a few different names these days. It's an appealing genre. It's probably at its real peak at the moment. It'd be interesting to hear Dakota's version of where she kind of thinks country music is in the market at the moment, on the back of some great work, not only by Taylor Swift. There is plenty of people doing some great things in the music scene. And we look forward to having a chat to Dakota right now about her little journey so far. And it's only I wouldn't say a short one, but it's relatively new in the music career at the moment, and look forward to her incredibly blossoming into the future as she's released a few songs in the last couple of years. So here we go let's bring her up for a chat. Dakota East, everybody, welcome.
Hey, so much for having me, Aaron.
No problem.
What welcome a lovely intro. That was great.
Well, I try not to say too much on the intro, but I let the talking in amongst you set the scene as far as in this. But we started this, just to give you a little bit of background, we started this podcast on the back of COVID, when the music industry and every other industry got shut down overnight. We got sick of the old Zoom chats, and we wanted to jump on and just have a chat to a musical friend of ours. And we got a good friend of ours, Ryan Sterling, on, and for 170 odd episodes now, we've actually had a muso on, or an artist, or just someone, a sports person on, or just a general chat about life. So here we go with another one. This genre is in about music and about a beautiful career that you're really pollinating right now and flourishing in, Dakota. And I look forward to this little chat with you, and we talk about a few songs you got on the go.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just admiring, with your intro, with all the names that come up of people that you've interviewed, and like it was cool. Like I knew a few of them, and I've done a few. I've had Katie Bates support me, and it looks like you're doing like a really great thing. Supporting the local community, and it's really cool. If do you want to hear about like the start of my journey, or
I do.
Coming down here?
Let's go all the way back to your first memory as a little girl and music back when you was a little girl. What do you remember? What's probably your earliest
memory? Absolutely. Earliest memory of music, I guess, would be singing on my beautiful this island I was living on. I grew up on from the very early ages. I was born in a local country town just 2 hours north of Toronto, and I was born there, and then straight after I was born, I was taken to this island where my mum and my dad resided with my two older brothers. And, it was just such a magical upbringing. My mum and dad were both entrepreneurs, so they were able to work remotely and kind of live this kind of fairy tale, like Canadian paradise life. And that's honestly, definitely where my first memories of music are. Listening to our family friends come around to the campfire. We had a lot of musician friends on the lake, and just listening to them play. And my dad would play John Denver and Shania Twain and you and Neil Young, and so really that was kind of my first introduction into music. And really it kind of stayed dormant inside me for quite a few years, the country aspect, and then it's kind of has come out again later on in life. My early 20s, that's when I started, getting back into, writing country music again. But that's definitely where it started. And it was just honestly such a beautiful way to start things. And I visit my family and friends. My dad sold the property a few years ago, but, we went back every summer. So we hence my Australian accent. Up until I was about 4, we were living on the island full time, and then we headed back to Australia. My mum is Australian, so then we just go back to the island every summer, and so we always just stayed really close with all the friends on the lake and the musicians there. And it's honestly so wonderful to have the dual citizenship and just the Canadian heritage and all the amazing artists that, I look up to. And I'm really hoping to get some tour dates around Canada. I'm hoping for next year. It was a beautiful way to start the musical journey.
Well, it's definitely been a blossoming little journey. I've been lucky enough to see you a couple of times in smaller.
Oh, really?
I must admit, but I caught you one beautiful tribute Tuesday, I think it was, on one of those at the Drunken Poet, which was a really nice.
Right.
Gig, that you played there. And I also saw you play with Katie Bates.
There you go.
At the Bergie. So
now your face is familiar.
Really so
now I remember having a very, very brief chat now that you've said this.
So we have just touched base, but you've been on my list for a little while, Dakota, I must admit. And now that you've released a few more songs and some great clips that we're going to play tonight and talk through, it's a really good time to be alive in amongst your little journey.
Oh, thank you. So nice, Aaron. That's such a nice way of putting it. And honestly, I have to agree. I really honestly feel like it is such a good time to be alive. I'm, healthy and, think music's going great, personal life going great, family's healthy. And, I moved down here to Melbourne about 7 years ago, and to work on my original music, and things are really, after like many years of hard work and getting over the lockdown struggles that all of us musicians had, it's really nice to see things flourishing again and lots of opportunities happening, and just getting to a really nice fun place in the musical journey. And honestly, it was it was such a good move. I actually moved from my mum actually originally from Sydney, so actually grew up when I left Canada. I resided in Sydney from about 4 till about 24. So so it was a bit of a different scene, and I just really found myself down here as an artist. I've got a residency once a month at the SB. I'm running Nashville Fridays, which is a 3-act original lineup of local country artists, and I'm showcasing them. And we're kind of doing a mix of Nashville covers, and then where the artists are doing their own original pieces as well. And we have alliances coming in, and it's just been it's been really fun, just networking. And I've had Tamworth. This was just my second trip up to Tamworth, and I was in the Star Maker top 10 final last year. And that was just an amazing way to, get out to a lot of people, playing in front of a crowd of 3,000 music lovers at the Toyota main stage. And I've made some really great connections and friends through that competition. And I also just supported Randy Houser, the international incredible American artist. He came down here to Melbourne for one night only, and he had a sold-out show at the Corner Hotel, and it was just incredible. So things have been really going off with a bang this year. Hopefully everything just keeps building. I've got a lot of music that I have written. I just need to record now. I'm going to be releasing a couple of other singles. So things are good.
Beautiful. 25 is going to be a big year for you, 2025. It's only a month and a half in and you've packed so much in already, which is really exciting. All right, we're going to talk about Runaway first. Here's the cover. Beautiful little photo shoot there. Tell me a little bit about the shoot before and where that was before we play the clip.
So I reached out to a photographer called Michelle Grace Hunter, and I saw that she'd just done a documentary a couple of months before, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was she included like Julia Stone in it and a couple of other like big names in the music industry. It was kind of just about like what was happening in the music industry and like how women were kind of being treated. There was obviously a bit of a chauvinistic kind of misogyny aspect going on, and a bit of sexism. So they were kind of speaking out about that. And she did all the photography for this documentary that she teamed up with this lady who did the directing and the filming of it. And like I just absolutely like adored all these photos that she had and had done. And so I just reached out to her, and she was, didn't know me from a bar of soap, but was like so open and down to help out. And she was basically like, she was like, what concept do you have in mind? And I told her the concept, and just like we're outside and it's like, deserty and, country artist. And she's like, just place, and she's actually originally from Shepparton. So that place where you see the cactus is, I think it's called like Cactus Country, and I think it's just outside of Shepparton. And she, her and I, she picked me up. Like she totally did not have to do this. Like she asked me, if I wanted to, like, because her parents were out that way. It was a hometown, is Shepparton. She was, look, we can drive out there, shoot all day, and then we can like stay the night, and and then drive back in the morning, like just at my parents' place. And so it was honestly, it was great fun, was an amazing experience, and like to just start off my original music career, and it was just a really good omen for things to come. And so once that first shoot was complete, then I had I got a PR campaign together, and I was pretty fresh on the scene, and my song actually just got like almost 150,000 streams like in the first week of it being on Spotify. And I got top 20 in the Australian country music charts. So there was just a lot of good positivity coming out of it, and just kind of really set the mood and the tone that I needed after many years of working on my original music, and not wanting to release something until I felt it was really right and authentic and myself and like the quality that I wanted it to be. So yeah, it was a very positive experience.
Well, it's definitely incredibly well put together, very professionally kind of packaged, the whole lot. I think that's one thing you're doing incredibly well, Dakota, which
Oh,
is
thank you.
not easy to pull together, let's face it, especially as a young musician with limited budgets and all sorts of things. But how does it feel to kind of just blow up on a track that you kind of put out into the world, your first kind of real first release, and all of a sudden it streams big or big enough for you to be excited and everyone to set this momentum? It must be a great feeling.
Oh, it was, yeah, you nailed it. Absolutely. It was just kind of like, it really gives you the confidence. And I think, even as long as it like happens once, getting like big plays like that, like it it pushes you to keep going further and like, to strive to kind of get those results again. And yeah, I think it would have been like a bit of a different story if like, I mean, I still would have kept going, but it just kind of would have been a bit more of a like slog. It was a very affirming feeling, and I was just kind of like, I was like, what's going on? Like it was just like blowing up like the numbers, and I was just like, this is crazy. Like little old me, like it's my first song. So yeah, it was very like a very good omen.
Yeah,
Sure.
beautiful moment for sure. Okay, so we're not going to hold you back or people out there any longer. We're going to play a little clip from Runaway. Here we go.
Thank you.
When I was just a little girl, my mama said, I'll keep you safe from harm. When I had trouble coming from a mile away, I'd ride till it was gone. Can't be wrong, can't be right. I was tired of waking in the middle of the night. When I was just a little girl, my mama said, I'll keep you safe from harm. Maybe it's time, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to run away, baby. Oh, we got time, we got time. We got time, so let's run away, walking to the water of the wild sea, waves come crashing down. I was once afraid of what was underneath. Sharks can get me now. Tide comes in, I swim out. If we lost it all tomorrow, yeah, we wouldn't have a doubt. When I was just a little girl, my mama said, come back close to the shore. Yeah, maybe it's time, maybe it's time. Yeah, maybe it's time to run away, baby. Oh, we got time, we got time. We got time, so let's run away, baby.
There you go.
Oh, it was a real
Runaway.
nice blast from the past looking at that.
It was
Oh,
2021, I
all
believe.
reminiscent. Pardon?
2021, was that right? That when it
Sure
was released?
was. Yes, it was just after, yeah, like the first, I think it was the, what was happening? There was a lockdown. I remember
Lockdowns, yeah,
there was a
absolutely.
lockdown happening. I think the first wave of the new lockdowns, like the second wave, first wave, the second lockdowns were happening. Um, Yes. Because, yeah, what happened was I actually I escaped Melbourne from the first lockdowns. So I actually filmed that video clip up in Sydney, kind of near the Blue Mountains. It's called Kapiti Valley. And as I mentioned, my family resides there. So my brother was the one that actually did all the videography and editing and directing for that. And so there was no lockdowns up in Sydney at the time. So everyone was just miserable down here going through the lockdowns. And, the sun was shining up there in Sydney. And, it was probably about June. It was about June I filmed that, 20. And I was like, hey bro, like I'm up here, I've got something to kill. Do you mind like helping your sister out and directing and editing this video clip for practically nothing? He was down for the cause. And so it was very cool to have gotten that done. Well, I felt very fortunate to have gotten that done while everyone else was like all the musicians especially and creative people were struggling down here. And it was kind of like it was all just meant to be, it was just I was like in the right place at the right time. And my brother was like, this is your first song, it's a big deal, and like you just need this last little push to get you on your way. So I was very appreciative, and he was right. So he hasn't filmed a video for me since, but it's okay. That's one favor is more than enough. I honestly still couldn't afford it. He usually charges a lot, but yeah, I'm so stoked with how it came about with just limited resources, but just using some creativity and knowing the right people.
Well, I can tell you, brotherly love. He nailed it to set you on your way, to put it that way. But it was a great clip. Couple of costume changes in there, a few hair changes, all part
absolutely all done by
the
me.
Country team.
Yep, totally. Yeah, I'm keen to do a few more video clips this year. And like I've got, as I said, I've got some songs that like have been recorded. I need to like finish off the end little bits and bobs, aka just finish off my vocals on them and get them mixed and mastered. That'll be fun to do a couple more video clips for them. And I'm hoping to have 2 more out. As what I did with Runaway, I use a lot of Nashville musicians that actually just like work remotely and record their tracks on my songs. So that was also really helpful throughout all the lockdowns and stuff. It's a good process. It's great to have technologies that these days just like allowing you to access to some of the best people in the business on the other side of the world.
Definitely, that is one of the big bonuses of our electronic era in the big worldwide web that they call it. It's social media can definitely bring people together. That's for sure. There's many challenges there are in it as well, but there's so many positives too. And around COVID was definitely one of those opportunities to, not kind of sit there for too long and, drown in your own loss. I suppose, a lot of people were creative during that time. Sadly, we
100%.
lost a lot of people in the business as well during that phase, gave up music and moved on to other careers. But it's great to see some new shining lights out of that as well, including yourself, Dakota. So just tell me a little bit about the songwriting process for you. Has that kind of changed between your first and, say, third song now, or is you kind of got a pretty constant method that you work through?
Yeah, I co-write everything with my guitarist, who you might see a lot in my shows. And yeah, so the songwriting process has not really changed for me too much. It's just kind of been like, I guess what's changed is that, you know, songs are coming quicker, easier. I know how the process works, you know, kind of what needs to be done. Like my ear has gotten better with writing. And yeah, I guess it's really just about finding more of the right people to work with in post-production. I'm just going to experiment a bit more this year. You know, I've got a few, you know, I've used a couple of different mixes for my songs, you know, Moving On and Feel It and Autumn Blue. But, you know, I might, you know, delve into working with a different producer this year for tracks that are going to be released for next year. So yeah, but not too much really. Yeah, which is, it's kind of nice that you know, you've kind of got your process and it's working.
And is it lyrics for you first? Part of that songwriting process?
No, always the melody.
Okay.
Always melodies. So me and my guitarist will get together and he'll usually think of the chords and get a good like vibe going, a good riff going, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, you know, that sounds good. I'm hearing something there, and then I'll just singing like random melodies over them. I'm always like, as a singer, like I just always find that obviously is always what pulls me in first, is like a really good, strong, memorable melody. So yeah, like, you know, we'll just play around with a few different melodies for a while. That can take like weeks sometimes. And once we've got all the melodies worked out, you know, Kieran's figured out all the different sections of the song, like musically, then we'll start writing lyrics, and yeah, we usually go about 50-50 song of the lyrics, and yeah, we kind of just go back and forth. Sometimes the lyrics are from personal experiences, or you know, sometimes I just use my imagination and I'm like, what if I was this kind of person doing this sort of thing? And you know, she's a character and, you know, this has just happened to her. And yeah, like for example, Moving On was actually not about me. I wrote it about a friend of mine who was going through a really rough breakup, and she ended up moving to Western Australia. And yeah, that was kind of, I was just writing the story in her perspective. So, but yeah, Runaway, Feel It, and Autumn Blue were definitely gathered from personal experiences.
Okay. Well, let's touch on a little bit of Feel It for now. Another cool shot in which is very much expected of you in amongst your shots now. We'll also just bring up a clip for Moving On as well, or the photo for the cover. Very bright, very lots of things happening.
Yes,
which is really
saturation going on.
Yeah, they're very cool. But we're going to play the clip for Feel It. Now, this gives a little chance. Obviously, this one's got the lyrics through it, so it gives you a bit of a chance to feel and watch and listen and gel with the lyrics as we play a bit of this one. But here it is, Feel It.
So far you're feeling so far away, but I know you talk to me every single day, and I knew right that you were my shining star. You are just sleeping, you'll have a way, and when I'm dreaming, it's always yesterday. No.
right, I'm going to leave you hanging a little bit. You must make sure you jump on YouTube, and also DakotaEastMusic.com is most importantly where you can jump on and get yourself a track, and download and hand on and pass on and gift to someone else. I urge you to please do that and support Dakota on her quest for greatness in
Thank
amongst this
you.
music scene.
You're so
Um,
kind, Aaron. Thank you.
Well, I try and be kind, as I should be, and well deserved, I must admit. So I'm not just saying it because you're here. I genuinely enjoy your music and everything. I understand all the hard work that's been put into it. So long may you
Yeah,
flourish in this career. Um,
absolutely.
talk about the guitar for a minute. When did you get a guitar in your hands, and when did that become part of your little repertoire, I guess you'd say? Let's not give all the credit to Kieran.
Oh,
You definitely held
absolutely.
your own.
No, no, never, never. Actually, my mother first handed me a guitar when I think I was about 9 or 10. The same one that helped with video. So he's my eldest brother. I've got one. There's one in between him and I, but we're very close and we share a lot in common. And so yeah, he actually showed it. He played guitar as well. He just kind of had this like very overwhelming urge to pass it on to me. And I was singing a little bit, like when I was 10 and stuff, but wasn't taking it seriously, like Justin Bieber, for instance. um, but yeah, so I was fiddling around with it for a bit, and then kind of just like left it for many years, and actually only came back to it like when I was like 20, 23, and bought myself a guitar, and yeah, been practicing ever since, and playing it on gigs now is great. So I say I've been playing it like professionally for the past um like 4 years, but have played it, like I've been learning it for the past like 7. So yeah, so it's great. It's great to just kind of like, you know, be playing and rocking out with the band, and like, confident. You can just connect to the song like on a more deeper level, and kind of get on the other musicians level a bit more. It's just amazing to see like what progress, is all about. And like it really is like little by little, at the time your brain doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere. And,
Mm.
you're just like, this is hopeless, this is useless. Like it was actually, it was really hard for me to learn the guitar. I'm just like natural, it's quite like frustrating for me to like have this natural, extremely natural singing ability. But to like work at something musical was quite frustrating. So I was quite like on and off for a while, but like, every single, minute, hour, half an hour, 20 minutes that you put into it, like over time, it really does pay off. And it's like, now I'm playing shows with it, in front of 800 people, and the confidence is worked up, so it's good. It's
It
very
is good.
good.
It is good.
Still got a
And
long way to go, but I'm no
that's okay.
virtuoso, but
That's okay.
it's
We can, you got to be good at something, and you've got an incredible talent with your voice, which is an instrument in itself, let's face it.
that is
And
true. That
you
is
come
true.
across so well with that. So adding a guitar to that is another beautiful feel. Do you feel kind of a little bit more complete being, that not from a look point of view, as far as what's expected? You expect it to be able to play, but do you feel more comfortable with a guitar in your hands as well, or do you still feel you're working through that as versus just being a singer by itself and having a band behind you?
That's a very good question. Yes and no. I do feel comfortable because I know it's what I should be doing and it's
Mm.
where like my destiny is and like I know like me being able to play the guitar and do all that on stage, it's very much a part of like it's who I'm meant to be. And like I also no, it's very big in the it's pretty important. I've come to realize in the country music scene to be able to play guitar, you get like massive credit if you, especially if you're a girl and you can play guitar. Like it just kind of goes with the territory. It's just one
Mm.
of the things, and no one's ever said anything like openly about that, but you can just tell when you see other people playing, you get why people are into it, and like it's just this unspoken credit. So in one way, I feel very comfortable that I'm like, yeah, like this is what I should be doing, and you know, I need to have this guitar in my hand. But I'm also at the same time, I'm like, oh, it's still like, you know, something a little bit alien to me. I'm also kind of not used to it. So I'm thinking about like, playing all these rhythms now while I'm singing these like complex melodies and trying to hit these notes. So I'm still in that stage, where I still have to like think about while I'm playing and it not just come naturally, but I know with time that it will not I will not have to think about it. So I
Yep.
guess it's just gonna take some time.
It will. Don't expect too much of yourself too early.
Yeah,
Just keep pushing.
exactly.
You're doing a great job. And from the outside looking in, mind you, and I don't play guitar, but it looks like you play it beautifully to me.
Oh,
And
thank you.
in amongst with Kieran, God, what a guitarist! He's got a beautiful feel in amongst the ebbs and flows and light and shade in amongst your tracks are beautifully done, not overdone, which is
Absolutely.
really
Thank
nice too.
you.
So that's a beautiful touch, which is different in the scene because I think there's a lot of musicians that kind of fill all the gaps and don't leave a lot of space. But I think yours, the tracks I've heard so far and seen you perform, you guys definitely do that well.
Thank you. That's such a lovely compliment, and yeah, couldn't agree with you more. And he also like has produced all the tracks as well. So yeah, I hope he gets some more production job out of it. And yeah, oh yeah, I learnt from the best with him for sure. He's taught me guitar. Yeah, since I started learning. So not like breathing over my neck sort of vibe, like every week we've had a lesson, but like, every, couple of months he'll, give me some pointers and things like that. And he basically just says to me that I, don't really need a teacher at this stage. It's more about just keeping up the live performances and
Mm.
and just learning like heaps of songs. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm doing right now.
Fantastic. Great to hear. And if it wasn't guitar for you, what else would you like to put your hand towards and play potentially
Ooh.
on stage?
I don't know. Harmonica's pretty cool.
That is pretty
I
cool.
like
It's a
the
cool
sound of
addition.
that,
Yep.
but it is, and it's just a vibe. Yeah, I would definitely like to play harmonica. But I guess it also like narrows you into a very specific style of country music, or
Mm.
blues. Whereas obviously the guitar is more versatile. But I also really like the banjo. That's cool. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I'd be very interested to learning that in time as well.
perfect. Great little
Have you ever
insight
heard of
there
East
into what you're looking.
Pointers?
Sure.
Have you ever have you ever heard
Yes.
of the East Pointers, the band?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know, the late and great banjo player in that, he was incredible. He passed away a couple of years ago, but he was just absolutely
Mm.
insane, like a magician on it. It's like, where are your hands going? What is going on right now?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those
So yeah,
beautiful instruments. Like the slide guitar and pedal steel, they're all kind of part of that scene. and kind of expected
Mhm.
a little bit to wrap themselves in amongst your music at some point. So, um, tell us a little bit about the band at the moment. How many piece generally is it? Obviously, I've seen you
Yes.
mainly as a duo, but I've seen
Yes.
definitely you take the stage in a little bit more of a wider band scenario. But it's all in amongst
Absolutely.
today's world, it's all budget based as well, and depending on the gig.
So
So
true.
tell us a little bit about kind of what you'd
Absolutely.
like
I mean,
to have.
oh, well, I'm having so much fun with my band at the moment. They actually just came on board at the end of last year, and I'm telling Aaron, got to come see us. You should come see us at Nashville Fridays. They are amazing. I've got Bella Christidis on bass. She's the most incredibly talented bass player I have ever heard. In Melbourne, let alone like in Australia, and she's like only 23. She plays like seriously beyond her years. And she actually used to play for Darlinghurst, the band.
Okay.
And I also snagged her friend who's the drummer, and he was also in the band Darlinghurst. And so it's really great. They just gel so well together. He is like the best drummer I've had in all the bands I've had. They're the best bass player and he's the best drummer, and they just play my music so beautifully, and they just kind of get the style really well. So that's Ben Kremer on drums, and then I have Cam Hayes as my second guitarist. Got Kieran Colton as my first, right hand man, like lead guitarist, and then the another guitarist as well, who his name is Cam, and actually they're all from WA. So they're all from WA, Cam, Ben, and Bella, and they moved over here. I want to say just before lockdown, so maybe like 2019, and they're
Bad
kind of just
timing to
taking
move over,
Melbourne.
hey?
Yeah, not the greatest at all. But they are just like kind of taking Melbourne by storm. So anyone who's listening, if you love a good live band set, you want to see some incredibly talented musicians, you want to have fun, you want to have a boogie, you want to do some line dancing, it's a free event, 21st of March at the SB basement. I would very much encourage you. The night will be kicking off at 8 p.m. to come down to Nashville Fridays and check out my band.
Beautiful. Sounds exciting. I'll make sure we can try and get down there. Make sure we put all that in the comments in amongst after this video so people can check it out and find out a little bit more about it. So let's touch on the last track we're going to play tonight, Moving On. Tell us a little bit about Moving On first before we play the clip.
Yeah, it's just as I mentioned before about my beautiful friend who was just going through a really tumultuous breakup, and I just kind of trying to envision myself, in her shoes, and this kind of story of kind of just started spilling out about her, and very now very happy. She's very she's moved on from the breakup, well and truly, and she's actually married someone else. And yeah, she is having a great time over there, and um, it was just kind of like I was quite inspired by like kind of the preachers for this. I'm also got a lot of you know, indie influences in my music. That's why I kind of like to call my genre like coastal country, because it's like, I grew up on an island in Canada, in like a little log cabin, but I also, grew up next to the beach and, in my Australian life. And so, just kind of like melding those two worlds together, and recorded it at Sing Sing Studios, the bass and drums and guitar. and then got session players from Nashville to do pedal steel and keys, and voila, that's you have Moving On.
All right, let's play it. Here we go. Moving on.
Jump in the truck at the highway, not knowing where I should go, and looking back on things my way. Together we were alone. I've been broken hearted, my dreams jump started. Now you're fading in my rear window, heading to the next time zone. 'Cause we got lost under American skies. Never know what's gone until you feel the landslide. I couldn't keep him from being unkind. I couldn't keep him from saying goodbye. Now I'm thriving, surviving the ocean that I'm riding. High, ain't nothing to lose, so I'm moving on. I headed down on the West Coast to get as far as I could. Only the sun shines most, just like the way it should. I've been drinking doubles, one night lovers. I'm breaking all the rules that he would. I'm taking back the years he took. 'Cause we got lost under American skies. Never know what's gone until you feel the landslide. I couldn't keep him from being unkind. I couldn't keep him from saying goodbye. Now I'm thriving, surviving the oceans that I'm riding. High, ain't nothing to lose, so I'm moving on. Well, I did all I could. Now I know where we stood. You can't hold back wild horses to run, or keep love alive when you're burning the sun. Oh yeah. 'Cause we got lost under American skies. Never know what's gone until you feel the landslide. I couldn't keep him from being unkind. I couldn't keep him from saying goodbye. Now I'm thriving, surviving the oceans that I'm riding. High, ain't nothing to lose. Won't be needing you in my life. Oh yeah.
Beautiful. Moving on with a nice little cheeky photo that there was the end trailer that comes up on YouTube, which promotes your little Toyota gig that you did for part of
Nice.
yeah. It automatically leads into that, so that was
Nice.
a little forward there. So moving on, yeah, we can always definitely move on in a positive outlook, and that song is a hard one to cut for me. It's a full listen, which is really nice to hear that we don't get to listen to full tracks too much these days, or full albums at least. What
Yeah,
was the last
is that your
album?
favorite? Is that your
It is
favorite
my
one out of
favorite.
the lot?
Yeah, it's got a nice
Nice.
it's got a great groove about it, and it's got some great lyrics in there, and I think it's just got some really nice light and shade, as I mentioned before.
Yeah, it's just got a bit of like an 80s kind of like indie kind of vibe, rocky vibe, which is, also a bit of like there was a bit of a Shania kind of influence as well. I was definitely
Can
kind of
definitely hear that.
influenced by her. How she just kind of like melded like sounds together, with like country influence, and then she was working with like quite modern production and stuff, like with her husband. But yeah, sorry, I know you were going to ask. You had another question lined up.
No, that's okay.
You,
So Autumn Blue is another one coming up. I'm going to urge everyone to jump on and have a little listen to that one. That's the newest track for Dakota out now. So make sure you check that out. We're not going to play that one tonight, but we're going to leave you with that one to go and find in amongst the big wide world out there. So who else is inspiring you at the moment, Dakota? Have you got kind of a new artist that maybe people don't know? Is there someone out there that's kind of you're listening to at the moment that you're really resonating with?
absolutely. I'm definitely really resonating with Carter Faith. She heard of her?
Sorry, who was it?
Have you heard of Carter Faith?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I have.
She's still a little bit like unknown per se. I mean, she's on like a massive record label, but like, she's still not like a household name. She's still like doing support acts for like other big artists and stuff. But
Yeah.
I really love just her songwriting style, her beautiful voice, her melodies, and the really beautiful production that has been lined up with her with Topher Brown. He is an amazing producer over in Nashville, whose brother actually mixed my single Autumn Blue. Yeah, and she's fantastic. I love all like, the main people, like everyone loves like Casey Musgraves and like Morgan Wallen and Poe and anyone else underground. I'd have to have a quick little look in my phone of who I've been listening to. Let me just see if I can
Well, there you go. I'm going
find
to hit you
anyone.
just while you're having a look through your phone. What was the last song you listened to?
Oh, okay, there we go. Last song I listened to, I think it was actually that last song I listened to, it says Messy, Lola Young. That's a cool indie track.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of going pretty viral at the moment. It's just like a woman's take on just how like society and her boyfriend and people like have a certain expectation. They're like, you're too this, you're that. But then like when she tries to be perfect, it's still not good enough. He hates how perfect she's trying to be. So it's just kind of like a bit of a tongue in cheek on that. Megan Maroney's pretty cool too. I'm really liking all of her stuff. And
Okay.
and Mackenzie Potter's new stuff with her husband, Thelma and James, that new project. I would definitely what's the song called? Happy Ever After You. Have a listen to that by Thelma and James.
Okay.
Very
Well, that
good.
gives us a few to chase up and look into. I'm going
Oh
to
yeah,
finish
if you
with
haven't heard of any of them, you need to get to them.
definitely get on the program. Yeah, for sure. We're going to ask you to finish with just a bit of words to a young up and coming artist. Think of a Dakota East that's 16, 17, trying to think of coming up and making their way in the industry, starting to write some songs, deciding whether they're going to grab a guitar or play keys or what are they going to do, or just be a singer, which is more than just be a singer, let's face it. But just tell me, what have you kind of learnt that you could offer a bit of a word of wisdom to some young musicians out there that are about to pave their way or feeling a little frustrated? What can you give them a little bit of wisdom
Absolutely.
there?
Great question. Love that. Like firstly, I'd say like, you're never going to work a day in your life if you're doing what you love. And as long as you love it and really enjoy it, always put that first, like, above money, because above, what people want you to be, like, be who you want to be, because that's always going to give you like the most happiness. But um you know in saying that, things don't come easy for everyone, and it takes a lot of hard work. And um you've got to put in the hours, and you can't really settle for like mediocrity. You got to push above and beyond the boundary. You have to always strive for your product to be the absolute best it can be. Don't just release something just for the sake of releasing it if you don't think it's like really polished and a really good song, and the production, isn't great. Like, I would just say, like, hold off until it feels like really absolutely right, until you have that right song, because making a good first impression really counts in this business. And I would, yeah, just say to, like, don't listen to everyone. Don't give up, and don't, listen to what anyone's like opinions are. Like, everyone's gonna have their own, unless it's like your working partner, who you're like writing songs with, or like whatever, like. But if it's just like all these outside opinions, people saying, you should do something else, or you should quit, or you're not good enough, like, don't give a second thought. Like, just tunnel vision is key in this business, and just ignore what everyone says, because everyone's going to have all these opinions, and they're usually 99% of the time wrong about their opinion. So, and you are usually right. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, well, definitely. That's great words of wisdom. And it's a big world out there. So you can't be for everyone, but you find your little
No,
pocket and genre, and you'll
find your people.
find your people. Exactly right. And play
Absolutely.
to
And
your
that's
people.
with working with, like, yeah, play to your
Yep.
people, find your people, and also surround yourself with a good group of people who are gonna like support you. Because you really need like a community to rely on. And that's kind of why I created this whole Nashville Fridays gig, is like to create a community and to help other artists get out there. And I just create a bit more of this Nashville sort of community that I think is missing a little bit in the Melbourne music scene. So 21st March and the 2nd of May are the last two gigs of the Nashville Fridays season. And we're going to have a little break over winter, and then we'll have some surprises popping up when summer kicks open. So don't hold in any reservations, because you will discover some amazing new talent, and it's a really fun night.
Beautiful. There's a great little promo into what's coming up for you. So I don't need to ask that question, Dakota, but that's a really exciting time. I'm so wrapped you've been able to spend. We never put a time frame on these chats, but we've easily clocked up an hour of a chat, which is easy to do in
It is.
amongst talking amongst music and your life and your journey. But it's really exciting. And thank you for letting me into your lounge room on a Tuesday night to have a little bit more of a chat and get to know you more.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure, Aaron. You made it a breeze. So anytime you want to do this again, thank you. I'd love to. And yeah, hopefully see you at a gig soon, and wish you all the best with this podcast.
Great. Thanks, Dakota. I'll see you out there in the big wide world very shortly.
Yes, you shall. Yes. Thank you.
Look after yourself. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
What a beautiful hour spent with Dakota East, talking music and talking about the love of being able to put out a release, not comparing yourself with others, being in your own genre, in your own space, being confident enough to, and such an inspiration, being a nice, strong, young, powerful woman in today's world. That's exactly what we need. So shout out to some of our other big, powerful musician stars. Karen Fields is one that comes to mind. It's leading the way, especially in the Australian scene, being a strong Kiwi, mind you, but we'll call her an Aussie while she's here. She was opening up last night at Northcote Social Club, which is really cool. So get out there in the big wide world. We're going to post a couple of links to what you can do this weekend. There's plenty on, which is really exciting. But get out there and take a friend and enjoy some music. We will see you out there soon. Bye-bye.